Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Well, OSHA has reported that workplace violence incidents have actually tripled in the last decade. What does that mean? What can we do, and what should we be looking for? Well, I'm delighted to be joined by experts today that can help us with all of those questions. Dr. Laura Kokinda from LA Medical Services, good to see you again, and Dr. Maura Kane, Citywide Threat Assessment Team. Great to have you here. I think the most important thing to do, first off, is to define workplace violence. I mean, where that line is and what the different types are when you are feeling as if there's some threat within the workplace.
So it's a little bit of a complicated definition when you look at it. Generally, the official definition is a threat or actually any sort of assaultive behavior, but also a series of behaviors can indicate workplace violence. So if you have obviously an assault or a threat of an assault or series of behaviors of inappropriate behavior or harassment, things like that, that constitutes the threat part, but it also has to have a nexus to the workplace. Okay. That's expanding a little bit as well with telecommuting. So it just has to be some sort of a threat and a nexus to the workplace. It can't be a personal relationship at home.
All right, so when you talk about violence, does it have to be blatant? Does it have to be a physical threat, or can it be an emotional threat or a psychological threat? I mean, does it have to be direct and physical in any sense?
You know, it doesn't. It's actually, like Dr. Kane said, a little complicated. It's broader than you would expect. Because one thing is we want to prevent things before they reach physical violence, and the steps leading up to that, it's more of the psychological or some of the other threats you mentioned.
What is a threat? I'm saying, I don't like your whatever. Or is it saying, you shouldn't be doing that? Or is it, I'm going to come get you?
It can be any of those, anything that instills fear. So it can be a direct threat, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to shoot you. It can be an indirect threat, as in, if my boss doesn't do this, I'm going to hurt him, or he's going to pay for it. Or kind of a veiled where you'll be sorry. If you don't give me that promotion, you'll be sorry, where they know they're not really saying a threat, but you know the hair on the back of your neck stands up because the tone and the demeanor, and maybe there's been a couple months of just behavior that's been a little different, and they say that to you, and you kind of have that, ooh. But they can say, I didn't directly threaten you. Mm-hmm. That still is something that we would get involved in. And like Dr. Kokinda said, we want to get involved at that stage versus someone hit me.
What are some of the indicators? Somebody is constantly angry, somebody is always complaining, what are some of the things we should be looking for directly and indirectly?
I think one thing that I've noticed is if someone really stands out from the group, maybe they're complaining more, or maybe they're withdrawing quite a bit. That's another thing that could be concerning, or behavioral changes that are observable where someone's setting themselves apart. Maybe they're more isolative, maybe they're a little more erratic in their behavior.
Do you notice that workplace violence scenarios are not necessarily specific, that it's something else in the person's life that then manifests itself in the workplace? Or do workplace violence incidents happen directly because of something that's happened in the workplace?
It can be a little bit of both. So there's what we call a grievance. So when someone has a grievance, that's what kind of started the ball rolling. And the grievance could be something very simple of they didn't get a promotion, or they didn't get a raise, or they didn't get the schedule they wanted. But that coupled with personal issues is where it kind of gets jumbled up as workplace. When you have something that there's other stuff going on. But it's rare to have it just be, my life is completely perfect and one bad thing happened at work and now there's going to be a workplace violence.
What's the process of when do I report, when do I reach out to a supervisor, when do I keep my mouth shut, and when do I start to get very worried?
So the minute you have a concern, you can go directly to your supervisor. If your supervisor is the concern, you can go, one up, because that can be the case sometimes. So you can report to your supervisor, or you can go straight to your workplace violence coordinator, but it's always better sooner rather than later if you feel something's a little off.
What responsibilities do employers have to protect their employees? I mean, where's the line in the sand there that if they don't know, they can't help, or if they did know, they should have been responsible? Where's that happen?
It's blurring a lot, especially with telecommuting and working from home. So
Really?
there's been a lot of blurring with that of what are our responsibilities if something's happening in the home, which is technically your work site at the moment. And so there's a lot of research going on about that right now. There's an association that everybody in CTAT is actually a member of. It's called the Association of Threat Assessment Professionals. It's a national organization with chapters, and our detective with Threat Management Unit is the president of the LA chapter right now. And so that organization is constantly doing research and working. We have a lot of FBI members in the organization and doing research, and one of the things that they are starting to expand on is the role of the employer and what do we need to do and what are our responsibilities, because it's expanding and blurring a little bit. It's not a straight line anymore.
Do you find that there are more reports of things that are not threatening or more reports of things that are threatening? I mean, what's the ratio of this is a problem versus this is on the cusp of being really scary?
Well, I think one thing is there's a lot of people who are uncomfortable in the workplace, and that's something, like we mentioned before, that there can be early intervention. So I don't know exactly what all would have turned into a threat, but luckily we've been able to be quite preventative in the reports we've been receiving. You know, even with the first line supervisors, a lot of them have been great in helping to mitigate some of the concerns by making small changes, you know, just giving people some space maybe if that's what they need, or just looking at how the office is running. So as far as things reaching a legitimate high-level threat, you know, we've been lucky so far, but I attribute a lot of that to early intervention.
Do you think anything is going to stem from the fact that we've all been locked in a particular environment for the last 16 months? You know, some of us have fared better than others. Some of us have been emotionally altered by what's happened with the pandemic. This has been a period of incredible stress, whether you are aware of it or not. So is that one of the reasons to even consider, you know, being very vigilant right now?
Yes, that's something we have a lot of talks about with different departments, different HR, because everyone's on edge, whether you realize it or not. This year has, you know, left a mark on everyone, potentially for a variety of reasons. And another thing is people have been socially isolated, so even just coming back to more of a shared space with these changing rules about what's okay, what's not okay, that puts people on edge. So whether people are going to actually be more violent or just be more aware of things that feel uncomfortable, you know, we'll see as it continues to increase, but definitely.
And a polarity of people's opinions about things, depending upon the subject matter. It doesn't seem as if there's been any kind of cohesion over the last X amount of months, if not years. So is that something that could also spur something that would not necessarily have happened even 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think we're going to see, unfortunately, just more disagreements and more you don't believe this and just the little arguments. Will it lead to an increase in cases? I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we can work with the city and solve those problems right off the bat.
Okay, so let's end on a really upbeat note. What's the best thing a person can do to diffuse a scenario, even if they need to report it later? But if, you know, what actions can anyone take to just calm things down or diffuse whatever scenario is taking place, whether it be large or small? What would you tell someone in your chair if there's like, I just get all upset, or they just get all upset? What do you do to calm down?
I think one of the best things for de-escalation is to just try to separate, take a time out. Time is really helpful. So any way someone can figure out how to buy a little time, that's good.
Yeah. Those 3 deep breaths and recompose yourself and walk away will do wonders.
All right. Well, everyone stay safe. Thank you for all of your hard work. And we'll talk again soon, maybe about something incredibly upbeat.
That'd be nice.
All right.
Thanks.
And that's a wrap on this LA Current.